I'm still getting better with these transitions. It looks like that is working. Pain in the butt getting this going again. It's been a little out of practice here. So, this is an email I received back on Thursday. I did not notice this email until someone actually posted in a group that I'm part of about these new changes, and specifically about one of these interesting new UAS restriction areas that popped up literally just down the road from me. So let's go ahead and look at what this email specifically says. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, has established airspace restrictions over 133 military facilities to address national security concerns about unauthorized drone operations. The specific restrictions locations are detailed in a notice to Airmen NATOM UAS NATOM FDC 7/7137 and may be viewed online via an interactive map here. And we'll look at that a little bit later. The agency is using its existing authority under Title 14 of the Code of Federal Regulations, 14 CFR 99.7 Special Security Instructions to establish these restrictions. The relief provided under 99.7 is limited to requests from Department of Defense and U.S. federal security intelligence agencies based on national security interests. U.S. military facilities are considered sensitive as they are vital to the nation's security. The FAA and the Department of Defense have agreed to restrict drone flights up to 400 feet within the facility's lateral boundaries. There are only a few exceptions that permit drone flights within these restrictions, and they must be coordinated with the individual facility and or the FAA. The restrictions are effective on April 14, 2017. Operators who violate the airspace restrictions may be subject to enforcement action, including potential civil penalties and criminal charges. For more information about these restrictions, including frequently asked questions, please visit the FAA's UAS website. Yeah, I decided to do this because I took a quick gander at the map of where they had some of these restrictions. And some of these are absolutely stupid because they already have other controlled airspace restrictions along those areas. They might already fall into restricted airspace already. And lastly, some of these new zones are outside of the boundaries of the base. Like, for instance, the one I'll be showing you here in a little bit. That's near me. But let's go ahead and check out the first link here. Let's see here. Switch this back to down here. Window capture 2. There we go. Oh, I need to expand this properly. How's that showing on the... Yes. Oh, perfect. Okay, so that first link brings you to here. And this is quite interesting because you cannot get past this pop-up here without hitting agree. If you hit cancel, it just shoots you off to some other page here. Let's go ahead. This is what happens when you hit cancel. You can't, it will take you away from this. But let's go ahead and read through this. FTC 7/782. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. It seems like it's, there we go, clear to read. Special security instructions for unmanned aircraft systems. Operations for multiple locations nationwide. April 14th. April 13th, 2019, locale. Pursuant to 49 USC 4103B3, the Federal Aviation Administration classifies airspace defined in the TOM as national defense airspace. Operators who do not comply with the following procedures may face the following enforcement actions. The United States government may pursue criminal charges, including charges under 49 USC 46307. We're going to want to look that one up a little bit later. So let's go ahead and get that searched up in a tab here. The FAA may take administrative action, including imposing civil penalties and revocation of FAA certificates, or authorized to operate under Title 49 USC 44,709 and 46,301. Pursuant to 14 CFR 99.7 Special Security Instructions SSI, all UAS flight operations, including public, civil, and model aircraft, are prohibited within the airspace over select security-sensitive facilities, surface to 400 feet AGL, except as provided for below. The list of selected facilities, definitions of associated airspace in which UAS operations are prohibited, designated facility contacts, and other important information are provided at the following FAA website. And I think, let's see here. Of course, it's the one that we're already looking at here, so go figure on that. U.S. operations are authorized within the defined SSI airspace if in compliance with the requirements listed below. The U.S. flight operation has been pre-approved by designated facility contact based on criteria established by sponsoring federal agencies and coordinated with the FAA. Or, if the U.S. flight operation is conducted in a direct support of an active national defense, homeland security, law enforcement, firefighting, search and rescue, or disaster response, and prior notification has been provided to the designated facility contact. Or, if UAS flight operations is conducted in direct support of significant and urgent government interest and is approved by FAA System Operations Center, Support Center, SOSC, in advance of entering the defined SSI airspace, and the UAS flight operation complies with all other applicable federal aviation regulations. Which is quite interesting. At least they thought ahead of time to throw in the part for like fire response and all that stuff, which is important because quite a few military bases control large amount of lands that are heavily forested and don't have easy access for anything viewing from the ground and all that. Hello, Pablo, and let me double check. Is this all? I hope this is all showing up. Yeah, okay, good. I'm just making sure real fast because I've been having problems getting this new overlay system implemented for the chat. I hope you all guys can see the chat there. And then they give out some more information, and this is the website that we're already at. So we're going to go ahead and hit accept here or agree. And map of the defined. Let's go ahead and get this visualized. What? We just agreed to this. Come on. Details, come on. Aviation. What? We need to sign in to see the map here? Ah, here we go. Oh. You know, I might have to load this up in my Firefox browser. So give me a sec here. I might have to do this. Oh boy.
You see the 157?
Wow, okay, man. I forgot. I had a lot of stuff going on here on Firefox. Alright, let's see here. Let's try to copy this in because I don't want to sit here and have to deal with guess my password for the FAA for the next 10 minutes here. And then I'll change this over. Does it work? Because I got this to work on my other profile here. Okay, map. Aha! Oh, no. How did I get in to see the map? Okay, so explore, visual, analyze, build. Okay, it's not pulling up on the thing. I'm wondering. See if I can remember the password on Firefox. Okay. Give me a second here because I'm trying to remember all the password stuff. But I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail there, but the new restrictions, I'm just going to zoom in the flight planner here. I like this iFlight planner because the way you can do the overlays, you can just do a straight up map here. And where's the layers here? Ah, here we go. They haven't added the new sections onto this. I got to move my little chat window here. We need Class D. There we go. Let's add in the restricted for fun. Okay, there we go. Now the one for that's in my area is it goes from like somewhere up in this area, a little bit over here, and it shoots down and shoots across this area. This is all public land right here. There's a mall right there, movie theater right there, the VA clinics right there, and this is all public. I mean, residential area right here. And there's not too many places to fly within the city of Anchorage. This is all surface to several thousand feet for drones. So you couldn't fly a drone within these areas without getting permission from the air traffic controller right here. So let me get back to trying to log in and pull up this stuff. And you get the suffer with me here. I have to do some password recovery and username recovery, it looks like here. Let's see here. Yep, that's Alaska. That's specifically Anchorage there. Whoops. No, let's... What the heck? Create account? No, I need to sign into my account. Oh, there we go. Right. The problem with long passwords is due to the fact that I have some really long ones. It's easy to mistype it when you're trying to type it in real quick here. Okay. No, I haven't gotten an email, which is sort of annoying here. Yeah, Hope is literally just right around the corner, distance-wise, but it's still quite the drive. You're looking at least almost a 90-minute drive, I think. Well, no, I think it's actually almost a full 2-hour drive. It's been a while since I've driven in that direction, so... is it in my spam box, maybe? Surprising. It's amazing how they tell you, okay, it's viewable on their website, but yet you gotta sign in and set up an account and all this stuff. Explore all data. Oh, here we go. This is how I got to it. Ah, finally found it. Move this window back over here. Component, download. Okay, map. As I said, I only took a quick look at this. Ah, here we go. Finally. So their overlay system, I didn't even know the FAA had something like this. So let's see if I can... Need a base map. Which one had the... Topographic? No. Ah, here we go. Okay. Got that. Now I just need to measure bookmark. Okay, thank you, but I need... But as you can see, this is the new little thing here of the UAS restriction. And as you can see over here on... let me move this over here so this way it's easier to switch to. This is where all the controlled airspace is in that area. And then right here, this is literally restricted airspace requiring special permissions. And I can understand covering this area, despite the funny fact is, this is open to the public, this road right here. There is no gate or anything like that, even though this is all military base. And you can see that it's used to access various mountain trails and stuff like that. That's up in the mountains near Eagle River. Change. No, I don't need that. Details. Trying to remember how I got... Because I was just quickly messing with this the other day. And there should be a way... Oh yeah, and if you click on these, it will give you information here. Surface to the ceiling of 400. And this only applies to UAS, drones, model aircraft, and stuff like that. Regular aircraft like helicopters, Cessnas, small aircraft, manned aircraft, those are not a problem with this. So if I wanted to, I could fly Cessna at 300 feet through AGL through this area. It would not be a problem. But if I take a drone into this area, it is a problem. Okay. Now back to trying to figure out add layer. Choose a file. No, that's not it. This is JBEAR, Joint Base, Elmendorf's Air Force Base, Richardson's the Army Base, right here. And I'm trying to get it where this is just definitely different from how I was messing with it on the Firefox. Let me double check and see how I can mess with this on Firefox. No, it's the same thing. Wow, they changed it overnight because I was messing with this yesterday during a meeting, half paying attention. I managed to get some different overlays going here. But, we'll just sort of jury-rig this and jump between the two. But what's interesting is it's set up in multiple areas. Some places it's not even really needed. Like over here at Allen Air Force Base over here by Greeley, this area is insanely large. And let's go ahead. I'm going to pull this out here. Let me zoom it out. As you can see, a good portion of that military base is already underneath controlled airspace. Like right here, this is all surface to 38,000 feet when compared to this one. It's like, why are you adding redundancy on top of something that's not even really needed? Because the base already has controlled airspace. If needed, why not expand the controlled airspace? And what's even funnier is, let's go ahead and switch this to satellite view. Hey, what do you know? Oh, we already got a good idea of what the base looks like from Google Maps. And then, I mean, let's go ahead and let's look over here. Fairbanks. There's another one over here in Fairbanks. Now, this is a no drone zone specifically, despite the fact that literally that entire little square falls within controlled airspace. Now let's look here. 2000, yeah, surface to 2000 controlled airspace. You need permission from the air traffic controller to fly in this area. Now, you could fly over here, you don't need permission or anything like that, but in order to fly in these areas, let's go ahead and switch this back to TAC. You can see this is all controlled airspace right here. Here, let me turn off the Class D overlay real fast. So you can see, yeah, on the map right here. And so part of last night was while I was in the middle of a meeting, I was going through and checking out various locations across the country, paying not too much attention to it because, as I said, I was in the middle of a meeting. It was sort of like distraction kind of thing. I was just noticing how some of these bases are just, it's like not even needed or required. Let's see here. Zoom this sucker out. Now there was a good one over here. Good old, whoops, what the heck just happened with the map? Good old Fort Hood. This is actually quite the extensive one, but it sort of makes sense with the exception of this little spot right here, which is not military land, which according to this map. But when you double check, let's see here, Fort Hood, there we go. It's already got restricted airspace galore over here. Let's see here. Surface right here. This is controlled airspace. Restricted airspace. You need literally special permission to fly within this highlighted line area. And on top of that, this is all controlled airspace right here. So you couldn't really technically drone the base unless you go to satellite map here. There is one spot I figured out. Let me turn this off here. Done. It's stupid. Okay, that's not going to go away at the moment. But roughly right around here. Hood Army Airfield. You could technically drone that because it's outside the restricted and all that stuff. And when you look at it over here, literally, you just stand over here. You could drone the airfield. Oh, you want to see? Let's see, nautical. I didn't really see any over in LA, surprisingly. Any of those areas. So there's a like one over here, right on the border here, an airfield, which I mean it completely covers. I mean it stays within the boundary of the base right there. This area or the Fort Hood area. Because I think the Fort Hood area is about the size of an average Texas county. At least that no UAS area. But let's do some more showing up. Oh yeah, this one I found a little bit interesting. They got an island over here. I never noticed this military island here until this. So I find that one quite interesting. But there was actually a very interesting one. I'm trying to find it. It was over... Yeah, here it is. Over here by Wilmington, North Carolina. Area 51 is completely controlled airspace here. I'll pull it up on this thing. See if I can get rid of... it's going to keep it darkened. Oh, well, switch it to this. Area 51. Arizona, Nevada. This is what Area 51 looks like. Literally, you cannot fly within any of these right here. So that's why you can't drone Area 51 or whatnot, because let's pull up the airspace for this. Literally, surface on up, Nihilus Air Force Base, Los Angeles Center is who you got to talk to in order to even try to get permission. You get the idea with all that. But let's go ahead and get back over here to Wilmington. Now, what I find interesting is a comparison of the no-fly zone area here. And now, I'm not 100% sure because the cross hatches don't necessarily show the entirety of the military base, because I know some of these military bases are a little bit larger. But you get an idea what I'm asking. What is the hell going on here? Because this clearly extends off the base right into civilian land, you could say. And it's like makes no sense to having a marked area is like, okay, you can't fly your drone even though you're not near the military base. Well, that's because you got to put in this, manually put in the information. And what's even funnier is I'm pretty sure they just threw down a couple of dots and didn't really think this out. I still got to contact try to get a hold of the FAA and talk with them about this. I just learned about it Friday night, Saturday morning. And you can see this goes all the way out, public highway, out of this road right here. Now, I'm not exactly sure how they're going to handle that kind of issue, if they got to go back through and fix the map, or they got to make adjustments on their wording. Or these are just like showing generalized areas. But this is pretty much what my initial quick look was showing on these issues. Now, I think this one shows these are all within military bases, just a little bit to the north. And you can see, I mean, right here we have controlled airspace. Right there, I mean, we got for the core, this is all restricted right here. I don't remember, was that actually... Okay, this is an MFO. Okay, so yeah, I didn't see this circle here. But, I mean, there is a no-fly zone right here, no-fly zone here, here, another one right over here. And what was I looking at? It was up in the Chesapeake area. Lost track, or I guess it was right here. But still, you get the idea. There's a lot of these things already have controlled airspace, which makes these completely redundant and not needed. Now, let's go ahead and... I'm really curious about this coding. Okay, violation of national airspace. Alright, so the charge for this one will be... Well, if you violate... A person knowingly or willfully violates section blah blah of the title or regulation prescribed under order of section shall be fined under the title 18, imprisoned for not more than 1 year, or both. Imprisoned for not more than 1 year. Oh, okay, so shall be fined underneath the title. So whatever fines are levied under the discretion of Title 18 thing there. Let's take a quick look. They got a hyperlink here. Sovereignty and public rights of transit. What was it? B3. B3. To establish security... Let's see. Administration... Okay. To establish security provisions that will encourage and allow maximum use of navigable airspace by civil aircraft, consist with national security and administration, in consultation with the Secretary of Defense, shall establish areas in the airspace the administrator decides are necessary in the interest of national defense, and by regulation or order restrict or prohibit flight of civil aircraft that the administrator cannot identify, locate, or control with available facilities in those areas. So that's the specific wording underneath the sovereignty and public right of transit section of the the federal regulations here, CFR or whatever. So pretty much didn't even get any pre-emails about them doing this. It's just they threw it out the wall out there. And it looks like that I'm going to have to do some further investigating on this by getting a hold of the FAA and talking with them specifically about some of these areas where on their marked map they have these areas that go outside the boundaries of the bases. And I want to see, because according to their email, which let's go ahead and bring that back up here. It says these are supposed to only stay within the boundaries of the bases. Let's see, viewed, existing, relief, limited to U.S. military facilities are considered sensitive within the facility's lateral boundaries. So chances are they just threw these things up there, and it's only supposed to be within the boundaries, but we'll need to get some clarification. Please contact or visit the UAS website. And yeah, I think I'm going to have to call them up because I'm not really seeing MOAs. No drone zones. National cap. Oh, I already knew about this one. Oh yeah, there's a permanent temporary flight restriction kind of thing over DC. You cannot literally fly anything without proper waivers of permission over there. Unless maybe it was carried by a kite or it was a bunch of party balloons kind of thing. So, unfortunately, they don't really lay out too much more on this issue. Let's see. U.S. code is enforceable in a world without lawyers that enable its violation. Yeah, it's quite interesting how they get hypocritical with some of these sensitive security restrictions. Yeah, this was just updated. Apply to all types of purposes of UAS flight operations to remain in effect 24 hours a day. FAQ, these flight restrictions. Let's take a look through here. Civil aircraft operations and other model aircraft, including those conducted in accordance with COA or accordance to FAA small UAS rules. Model craft. This is basic US safe flight. Okay, that refers us to the map. Let's see the violations once more. Are they exceptions? Yes, we already read that there were exceptions. And what do you know? If you have any general questions regarding UAS operations, please visit the FAA UAS website, which we're already started here going through all this stuff, or contact the FAA. So I'm betting what they did was they copy-pasted their little information pamphlet and threw it right here. If you have additional questions regarding TFRs, please contact the SOSC. And I think that's on the East Coast, so I might actually have to get up early tomorrow or something like that. System, air traffic security. Wonder if we can get the hours here. Okay, well, we got locations. Is there any in Alaska? Let's see. Oh, name, office, job title. Yeah, I think most of these are East Coast. Los Alamos, crap. Where is Los Alamos? Give me a sec. Let's check. Los Alamos. Where's that on the map? Next to Santa Fe. Okay. Santa Fe, New Mexico. So let's take a look. Okay, Los Alamos. Yeah, let's go ahead and about the Los Alamos here. There's Santa Fe. I am not seeing a no drone zone over by Los Alamos, but let's take a look at the airspace for Los Alamos. I suspect that Los Alamos already has, yeah, Los Alamos already has a restricted airspace. Right here. That's what this blue line is. That's, let me go ahead and turn off Class D so this way we can all see. Yep, this is restricted airspace right here. So Los Alamos, literally you cannot fly a drone unless you get a lot of, well, you go through all the red tape. And it doesn't look like it has any controlled airspace. Let's switch this to TAC real fast, just to make sure. Take it a second to load up. Yeah, they've been changing up the regulations. I still got a buff up on the regulations from the September changes, and that's going to be quite the dive and boring reading of stuff. Okay, come on, why is TAC not loading up? Okay, there we go. It's just being really slow, probably because the internet's being jammed up here. I'm trying to load up Los Alamos here, and it's taking forever to load. I might just have to sky vector that one. Let's see here. Yeah, this one's actually more confusing to look at. Has this one loaded up yet? No, I'll try the... it must be bugging out and not wanting to load it. Charts. Arizona, New Mexico. No, need this one then. Okay, I think that's Santa Fe right here. No, that's Albuquerque. Boy, they make this a pain in the butt sometimes. Okay, oh, yeah, it's right next to Albuquerque. Now, there's... Okay, that's Albuquerque. Okay, there it is. Yeah, so that's the only one right there. R-5101 there. Idaho National Labs near Arco, Idaho. Let's go ahead and take a look up. Can I type in Arco? Oh, there we go. At least this seems to work. Well, good news is I'm not seeing any controlled air. Well, no unexpected restrictions right in this area. But of course, oops, there is some restricted airspace in that area. So, and that's why I have I use multiple different map things to look up and map out. Oops. Map out where the controlled airspace is and all that stuff. Let's see, Class D, Class C. See, there's some Class D airspace right there. And you're generally only going to see Class C near major cities or large cities. And Class B are literally the most busiest airports. And then just to give you a heads up, if you ever use the iFlights planner to figure out how to fly, where you're going to fly, these red dots are TFRs that are currently in place. So, like, let's go ahead and look here. There's a TFR place here for pretty much between these areas right here, and then there's some more over here, and then pretty much what this giant shadow stuff is right here is like weather information and all that. Oh, you know, I'm sorry about that, guys. I am very, very sorry. I did not realize that. Image, oops, browser source, nope. Window capture, there we go. I am sorry about that. So, thank you for typing that into the thing. I would have dealt with that. Okay, Los Alamos. As I said, here's Los Alamos, here, and on here. Oops, this is not Alamos. They don't have. Wait, no, this is Phoenix. They don't have a no drone zone over it, but they do have a bunch of restricted air. Well, there is restricted airspace for Los Alamos, and then for Idaho. Whoops, passed it. There wasn't one for the specific area that was asked about, but there is controlled airspace near that area. Washington, nope, here we go, past it. Near that same area, there's restricted airspace, and that's Class D airspace. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got for right now. This is it went by a lot faster. I thought I was going to have to do more reading for it, but I might as well give off a quick spoiler also for another reason why I need to contact the FAA. If I can find the letter around here. Was this it? No, this was not it. Where did I put that letter? It was quite funny. So, give me a minute here to shuffle through my mail. Okay, no, that's not it. That's not it. Did it fall down? Oh, it's around here somewhere. Oh, wait. I think I put it over here. This might be it. Oh, well, no. Ah, here it is. I'll read this letter off, because I got this from the FAA last week. File number 2017 SW170003. Reporting Inspector Newman Ryan B. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, has investigated an alleged violation that reportedly occurred on Wednesday, September 21st, 2016. This letter is to inform you that the investigation did not establish a violation of federal aviation regulations. You may consider the matter closed. Should you have questions, feel free to contact our office. And this came from the FAA office over in San Antonio, Texas. So we could probably take a pretty accurate guess what this is related to. And I wanted to get more information about this one too. And what's even funnier is the fact that they specifically say a flight that happened on September 21st. There was no flight that happened on September 21st. All my flights happened the week prior to that. So I'm guessing that's when it was reported to them. But as I said, I still have to contact them and get more information on that one. So I figured that would be a nice little hint at what potential is upcoming. Another thing I have coming up is also there is still hopefully one last town hall, city hall council meeting that I'll be attending tomorrow night about the supposed drone ordinance that is highly likely to be killed here in the city of Anchorage. It looks like they are going to go ahead and abandon it. There was someone that did attend it the other day. The other week they had a work session. I think it was on Friday, and I was trying to attend that one, but I just couldn't make it. And so they said that it looks like it's going to go ahead and get shut down, but still, it's not over until the Fat Lady sings, and I want to see that fully finished and shut down because it's like unnecessary, unneeded, and how should I put it? It is in direct conflict with the uh, FAA's jurisdiction, you could say. Now, I do understand that people. I mean, there is an issue with privacy and all that stuff, but the best way, as I put out in the last meeting that I attended and spoke at, was that the ordinance, if you really want to deal with something where the drone is getting too low, make the drone the extension of the body, and if it flies like below the eave of the roof of the property or whatever, over the property, make that sort of a trespassable offense. And it's very minor, it's not a big issue for the most part, and it allows for someone to receive a warning first before repeat offenders obviously would either get some sort of punishment if found guilty and all that stuff through the trespass law requirements, which is usually like under a year in jail at the worst. And I think $1,000 fine for at least for the city ordinance trespass, because there is a trespass law for the city and there's a trespass law for the state, and it would most definitely fall underneath the city's trespass law. I think I'll go ahead and leave it at that. Is there any questions that people have for me that I might be able to answer on drones or dealing with flights and all that stuff? Or about BBI in general? That star is off. Okay, there we go. Take that as no one's got anything for me or anything like that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do an outro song here. Techno Axe Lowly Travered Barn. Yeah, I agree with you. A few months in jail, it would destroy a lot of people, especially if they are low income. But I guess that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick trip down Tyler case. Okay. Oh, so now I got the questions popping in here. Let's see here. I'm not sure about the Tyler case. Could you elaborate more on that one, Tinfoil? The red lines on the map, those usually signify TFR, so temporary flight restrictions. Those are only up for a set amount of time, with the exception of the one over the over Washington, D.C. That is a permanent TFR. Let's go ahead here. The restricted airspace, it does go a little bit into Knik Arm, but keep in mind that this is a major tidal zone, and as you can see from the satellite footage here, the this is all mud. The tide comes in, and the high tide mark is right about here, so it does go a little bit over the water here. And for this right here, this is all controlled airspace for directing traffic. Let me put on the Class C one. And as you can see, this is a Class C airspace here. Ted Stevens International Airport is a very busy place. And, the restricted airspace for Anchorage, I'll just do this. Only goes over, let's see here, Northeast Muldoon here. For the UAS, this is under controlled airspace right here. But on the eastern side of Muldoon, this is uncontrolled airspace with the exception of this new UAS restriction. Oh, okay, that Tyler. Okay, I haven't paid attention to that because I know it's going through a lot of back and forth. Let's take a quick look and see if that's actually. Um, let's see. Oh, is it Tyler or Tyler? Well, try both. Okay, so this typo lawsuit over drones tells FAA rep your mix close. Okay, what? Uh, Pretty much what happened was I went over various places where the new UAS restriction zones go over public land when they're supposed to only be within the boundaries according to the stated letter. So we still gotta. I have to contact the FAA and a person directly and ask about the issues, like right here, because this is controlled airspace where my mouse. Well, I don't know. Is my mouse cursor even showing up on here? Okay, yeah, it is. Is right here. This is controlled airspace, but south, right here on this side of the road, is all uncontrolled airspace, which is an issue. Let's get back to the Tyler case. Or arguments for a Tyler case. Challenges legality of a drone registration program began last week. FAA did not appear to emerge with a victory at hand. Oh, so this is interesting. Let's continue reading here. The FAA drone registration program was instituted just before the holidays in 2015. The drone registration program, Part 48 of Code, the CFRs, require all drone operators, including recreational drone operators, to register paying a $5 fee and providing their contact information. Contact information relates to a registration number, which is supposed to be displayed on the aircraft. It doesn't have to be displayed on the aircraft. It can also be shoved in the battery bay, which is how I do mine. I just write it on a piece of paper, shove it in the battery bay. They have a number of arguments against the registration program. FAA did not adhere to mandated commenting periods, claiming that in 2015 holiday season constituted an emergency, which exempted the agency from following the required processes for rulemaking. Oh, this is getting interesting. The database required address information from minors, which may be available to the public. Oh yeah, that's actually there's how should I put it? There's a federal or state laws that have issues about minors and marketing information that you can gather. That's why quite a few websites, when it says when you join, you need to be over the age of 13. And even then, between the ages of 13 and 18, there's further restrictions on what you can do with that information. And there are many arguments about privacy rights of drone operators. But John Taylor, a drone operator and attorney from Maryland, chose the clearest one when he took on the David versus Goliath case last year. Section 336A of the FAA Modernization Act says the FAA can't enact new regulations without regards to model aircraft. Part 48 appears to be a new regulation, which has actually been the entire large argument against, even I had against the FAA on this part. In a clear and concise argument, Tyler laid out his case before the judge. The FAA was in violation of Section 336A when it enacted a new rule regarding model aircraft flown for recreational use. When you said that you've said it all and were willing to move past it, said Tyler at one point in his argument referring to Section 336A, but I don't really know what more to say about it. In addition to the issue of legality, Tyler points out the FAA's argument that the registration is necessary and for enforcement is a false one. The FAA's response to FOIA request he sent last May indicates the agency had no records of model aircraft ever being traced through its registration number. The rule didn't protect anyone from harm, said Tyler. It's never been of use. And I completely agree on this issue right here, because the only way you're going to get that information off the drone is if someone crashes their drone, you're able to look at it, or you can find the person and ask them directly to show it to you. If you're a FAA person, by lucky chance there's one right on the scene, they can demand to see that paperwork. You don't have to hand that paperwork over to officers, so that's a fun little fact. The FAA's argument in defense of Part 48 is that despite appearances, it isn't a new rule. The aircraft have always required registration. See Part 47, and they provide convenient means for drone operators to register. No, for the longest time, I mean, for like over 40 years, model aircraft, which drones for the most part fall under, never required registration, especially for the hobbyists. The fact that drones are model aircraft had never before been included in the interpretation of Part 47 makes no difference. In accordance to the agency, the FAA representative argued that the FAA isn't allowed to exercise discretion with regards to enforcement, and the agency would be hamstrung in enforcement without registration, which is not true. The problem that is coming with the enforcement is the fact you're dealing with something that has a small, limited amount of battery life, and so the person, if they're out there flying and violating airspace or whatever, at the very most, they're going to be flying for about maybe 20 minutes. If you got something that has enough capacity to carry the battery life for 20 minutes. On average, though, you're looking at 10 to 15 minute flights. And so that person, they're going to go out there, they're going to fly their drone 15, 20 minutes, land their drone, and go home because most likely they only have 1 or 2 batteries on them. They're not going to be around that much. And you can too be. I love that comment. Registration, sure. Just give the government $5, and you too can be a safe operator. Yeah, and I went through the registration phase last year, and it is literally a joke. The judges in the case, however, did not appear entirely convinced when questioning the FAA representatives. Where are you getting these words from? The judge asked the FAA representative, who submitted over the exact phrasing of Part 33.6a. You're just making stuff up. That's not what the statute says. Your argument is very strange to read, commented the judge. I wouldn't write anything like that. I'd be laughed out of the business. In response, the FAA's argument that Part 48 met FAA's goals for both enforcement and education, and that over 70,000 drone operators had already registered, the judge was dismissive. That is a policy argument, he stated. The fact that the thing you're doing has good effect doesn't mean that the thing is lawful. A 30-minute recording of the oral argument can be heard here. So, yeah, I have to agree. This is one of the things. I read through the statement back in 2015. And I'm sitting here going, you're saying that pretty much what they're basically saying in that entire thing was, granted, this rule was passed. We're still doing it because we have the authorization to do it beforehand. They're like talking in circles. And this oral argument, it can be heard here. Let's see here. Control FAA. No. These are all cases from April. Now, the thing is the judges heard this last month, right at the end of last month. And so when the judges come out with their decision or opinion on this one, we probably won't see it until the end of this month or the beginning of next month. So this just happened. I did not know about this one. So let's see here. FAA. Let's see here.
Case number 16-1101, Flyers Rights Education Fund, Inc., doing business as Flyers Rights Org, doing business as Paul Hudson, petitioner, versus Federal Aviation Administration et al. Mr. Sandler for the petitioner, Ms. Schoen for the respondent.
Let's see.
A lot of other things on our plate. That seems like that would be something that we would not have any basis to question.
Well, if they refer to studies and information, they have studies and information.
That I understand.
let's see. Since it's versus, the second half should be the FAA here. Let's see if we can get a quick bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and
Case number 6.
jumped ahead. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna listen through this and see if I need to fix the audio on any portion of this. Which circuit core was this anyway? Oh, this is in the DC circuit. Okay. So this should be quite interesting to go over. Yeah, it's quite a big file there. That's is that 400? Or no, never mind. It's not big file. That's 46.9. But I'll go ahead and get this uploaded and listen to and see if there's any adjustments later on. But yeah, I have to say this is definitely. I'm glad the judges are calling the FAA out on this. And I'm really interested to see how this ruling is going to come about on that issue. So, and you can see that this is a dronelife.com article. Judges tells FAA rep, you're just making stuff up. I'll have fun actually posting this in a few locations online. Yep. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end this now. How long have I been streaming? Let's double check here. I've been going at it for about 40 minutes now. My mouth's quite dry, and I still need to do some other stuff here. But I will go ahead and leave off for the day and work on this other little side project. I also got to get ready for possible more arguments for tomorrow at the city council meeting. And for all of those who are wondering what else I've been up to, why I haven't really done any more videos, I'm pretty much out of content for film First Amendment Fridays. I'll be rolling out a GoFundMe here soon for a season 2 thing for traveling to a new location. And I have some ideas in mind, and I do plan on probably doing a, how should I say, a meet and greet, having some sort of advertisement once I get a location figured out. And all that. That really depends on how much funding is raised, of course. As is, also keep in mind that right now there is a corporate war between Google and other, how should I put it, other ad agencies and stuff like that. And so the AdSense funding for quite a few of the activists has been going down. I've already had 3 videos demonetized, and I'll do another video about that later this week. So you guys have a nice time and enjoy some lovely Tavern Bar, Lowly Tavern Bar 3 by TechnoX.